Well, it has been quite a whirlwind, and this is the first time I've actually had a little chance to stop and say hello to everyone in my coaching community online on social media. Yes, we wrapped up the C Suite Academy with the Executive Leadership Council Learning and Development Institute last week in Atlanta, and then I went right into my book signing in Atlanta and barely had a day back in the office before it was time to start Leadership Development Week Bright Futures. We're doing it virtually, but as you can imagine, I'm sitting here in my office studio hosting this seminar with about 25 executives from across the Fortune 500 with my co-facilitator, Adrian Porter, which is a pleasure. He's so talented, and these leaders have such a bright future ahead of them, pun intended. Well, I showed up to tell you a little something about items coming up. Some of you may have gotten wind that I will be showing up in Washington, D.C. in the fall. More to come on that when it comes to signing the book and doing the chit-chatting fireside chat that I had with Candace Presley. Thank you so much, Candace. She's from WSB TV in Atlanta. Stay tuned for the surprises to come in DC. But in between that time, we have a few things coming up. One is this. We will be launching the second, I call them semesters, of SOAR Women's Leadership Academy. And we've pushed the start date to September because, gosh, I've had to handle a lot in between, and it just gave me a little bit more wiggle room. Plus, it gives you a little bit more time to save. I'm going to extend the break on the tuition until later on this month. So stay tuned for more communication on that. In the meantime, we will be doing Peace and Productivity, the challenge in the fall. It will happen in November, so look for that. There's about 30 leaders that came together for that challenge. It's 4 days in a row in the evenings. And then, of course, the circle is still around, and there is a corporate version of the circle. If you are an organization, you're interested in growth groups for your company, let me know. But the circle is awesome, and I've given you a little bit of insight on it, but we have weekly journaling prompts and coaching prompts, and we're in community with one another online. And each month you receive a digital tool to help you with the timely, topical engagement that we do. And then, of course, there's the growth group where we come together and we hack some of the issues around the topic. And it's a year subscription, and you get something every week. And if you join, of course, you get that free one-on-one session with myself. Something else I'd like to share, and that's a new collaboration that I'm doing with the person who wrote the foreword to Yes Please, 7 Ways to Say I'm Entitled to the C-Suite. I'm speaking of none other than America's psychologist, Dr. Jeff Gardier. It occurred to us that after publishing this book, it might be a good idea to offer collaborative services. That's right. As a certified executive coach who's informed in positive psychology and neuroscience, it makes sense to go arm in arm with a licensed therapist and psychologist. If you're interested in what that means to you as an individual or also as an organization, reach out. I'll be glad to share. Something else that I'm doing that's a little bit off the beaten path, but it's because of what's going on in our country, in our nation, in business today. Lots of change. And a lot of businesses are going through changes, whether they be layoffs or scaling for the new digital economy that is always new and always changing. But listen, I'm doing a one-on-one intensive for leaders who are facing change that they did not expect, or maybe the change is coming and they expect it, but they want to get ahead of it and instigate their own transformation. It's just a month long, and I see you once a week for an hour, or you can break those things up into 30-minute sessions twice a week. It's called SOAR One-on-One Intensive, and it's for men and women. So drop a note in my DMs or email me, reach out, call, whatever you'd like to do, and we'll set that up for you if you're wanting to grab change by the horns and do for yourself. I'll be back online a little later. The Culture Soup podcast will be back, not this week, but the following week, with the very amazing Ann Chow. She's going through rewirement. And we're going to talk about what she talked about in my book. Yes, please. 7 Ways to Say I'm Entitled to the C-Suite. You'll want to hear this conversation. I'll see you online.